Hey everybody, it's Doom, Dungeons and Doom Biscuit, one half of the marvelous team at DungeonsWire.com, and I have today part 2 of the Making an Aboleth video. He is not quite dry, is he? Not quite. But let's get started. So the first thing we want to do is we want to get a good aggressive base coat on him in whatever color we're going to make him in. And I think since yesterday I did a green, today I'm going to do something else. His belly's pink, we know that much. I don't have a plan for the pink, because pink is one of those weird colors to paint with. It looks weird, sometimes it looks okay, sometimes I try not to use it. So what I think we're going to do is we're going to do our Aboleth in maybe a, I don't know, I used green yesterday. It seemed like green would be the go-to. Let's do them in a gray with a pink belly and some green highlights on his fins. So my go-to gray color is this Pavement by Apple Barrel. Apple Barrel is a Walmart cheap craft paint. And that's not the brush I want. I want something softer but smaller. That's a little firm. Sorry, I'm brush hunting. Don't judge. It's a process. Oh, look at this guy. This is the one I used in that cockatrice yesterday. Now, if it's a video I already did, like yesterday I made a cockatrice. I am going to go through the monster manual, but I am just going to refer to people that want to make a cockatrice to that video, because I don't foresee myself needing a second cockatrice now and or ever. So, just like I can't imagine with how powerful an Aboleth is running 2 Aboleths. And you might say, well, an Aboleth isn't that strong, or a cockatrice isn't that strong. Well, if you run them by the book, that may be so. But if you like to make your enemies interesting and make the book useless to your players so they can't look stuff up in metagame, yeah, maybe some of it's there, some of it's true. But for me, the majority of what you read in the book will not be true. Or it won't work the way they think it works. Because I believe that the monster manual is like Volo's Guide or anything else. It's a collection of data that was observed by people and maybe spread through word of mouth, since everybody couldn't most likely read and write, or it was spread through some, a scholar was actually taking notes of what he observed, and it might only refer to one specific variety of something that he saw, or it might not even be accurate. Because if we look now, we used to think a lot about wolves that aren't true. We used to think that wolves had an alpha that was a chosen leader that fought his way to the top, and the toughest wolf was the alpha and stuff. And we actually find that the truth is far from that. The parents of the pack, the offspring are generally subservient to the parent. So it has nothing to do with the toughest wolf. And that's even debatable to an extent, because you look at how dogs interact with human culture. If you establish yourself as the patriarch or matriarch of the family, they will bow to you. So it's probably true that they see you as their parent, or it's possible that they see you as their alpha. We don't know. I'm not a scientist, but the truth is, we make assumptions about animals that are incorrect all the time, and we just kind of... Just because one time a dude saw a bear eat a fish doesn't mean that bears don't eat predominantly berries. You know what I mean? Alright, so I think we got a pretty good base coat on his body there. And now his base is going to be sand. So we're going to keep this paint over here. We're going to clean that brush out a little bit. His base is going to be predominantly sand, so what we're going to want to do is we're going to be responsible and start with a lighter brown instead of using my go-to brown. Well, it doesn't have to be. Let's talk about this for a minute. He lives in subterranean layers, right? So let's go gray. The floor of his, since he doesn't really live in the ocean, his floor could be stone in the bottom of a underwater river or underwater lake. So let's get rid of that notion that it's sand, and let's go with stone. Let's try to keep it true to his lore. Let's make his base match his backstory, you know what I'm saying? Okay. Let's get that brush cleaned off. We're going to need a lighter gray at this point. And since I have so much of my pavement left in here, instead of just getting the next shade of down a gray, what I think I'm going to do is just mix lighter in and bring it out. So he does have a lot of hot glue in his construction. So for this portion of using the +2 hot air gun of burning, I have it on a low setting. I'm just trying to dry the majority of it and see whether there's too much paint or not enough paint and stuff like that. If you're looking at good old 3.5, the Aboleth, the first thing it says about what they can do is they can enthrall somebody or enslave somebody. They have an ability that allows them to do a form of mind control. And that form of mind control is in effect that until they make a save each day, they can telepathically be communicated with by the Aboleth. So that's a pretty serious threat, especially if your party member gets hit and no one knows about it. You think that you escape the Aboleth, and then your party member throws all your gear in the river or tries to kill somebody. And then you're like, oh snap, son. That's not the desired effect. So I'm just working up a lightning coat here. I'm just bringing them down a couple shades at a time. Let's get some cardboard and wipe some of this off. It's getting a little bount. Bount is a technical term I just made up. It's super good. You can use it. We're just lightening them up in some spots along the top. And remember, he's got to get pretty light because his bottom's going to be pink. And we don't want it to be an enormous, fake, cartoony clash. So we're going to have to bring him down like multiple times to get the desired effect. So let me ditch that cardboard. Let's wipe off this brush. A lot of paint in that brush. All right, let's hit this with the +2 hot air gun of burning. And we're going to instantly see that right there. There's way too much paint. Okay. How could we make this green or this gray look a little more interesting, I wonder, as we're lightening it down? Now this is a pretty big jump, and this would be bold to think this is safe to paint with. The smart answer right here is to say I went too light and to back up and to darken this up. I don't consider myself to be a particularly smart person, so I'm going to try it like this and see if we can do this without wrecking our paint job completely. Because small steps down is usually way better to deal with and has a better desired effect than big giant. You know, if you're just doing a two-step paint, yeah, do the big giant step down. But if you're going to do something, you know, where you want to kind of have some layers and look more natural, this is not the way to go. Okay, well that did not turn out terrible. That was not the end of the road. Let's get some more of that. I'll lighten up his fins, his upper back. He's starting to look a little grotesque. I think maybe we can add like a light blue with this and get something good going. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe. The problem is he's going to look like a gender reveal party. Blue on top, pink on the bottom, and whichever way he comes at you, you got to guess. But since they're non-sexual, they have both reproductive organs. They're asexual or whatever. I think gender reveal parties are kind of moot for them. All right, I'm not trying to be too funny there. I know people get all worked up about shit these days. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, people. I feel bad. I made some of y'all sad. I was just making a video and being silly and hurt some feelings. I'm sorry. I'm the worst. Something like that. We're getting there. Let's do something with the underside, though, because we do have to lighten this up, and I have not really put much paint to it. We kind of got to go a little thicker with that because we got to make up for the fact that we haven't been down here. All right. Now let's get some of this pink going. For this first little bit of pink, I'm going to get some pink and some red. Some water. I'm just leaving that gray in my brush. I just don't care. I'm trying to make a sickly kind of muted pink, like a Pepto-Bismol done sat out too long kind of deal. The brush is probably way too big for this. So from the top, you can just kind of catch it in some angles really, but we want to get that evenly coated. We want to kind of get it in some of the cracks too. Okay. And then we want to lighten that up. So I'm just getting a little bit of this pink here. I'm going to get a little bit of that, where's that one color? Some really, really light gray. I'm going to try to make a lighter tone of that and do a half-assed dry brush over that. I say half-assed because it's pretty wet still. Okay, the technical term for this, I guess, would be wet blending, and wet blending this. All right, let's set that off to the side. Get the +2 heat gun of hot air +2 hot air gun of burning. I don't know why I make up dumb names for my tools. It started with this sparkly makeup brush, but it's just gotten out of hand. All right, so. Just catching the parts that stick out now and lighten them up. It's not really a dry brush, just lighten those up and get some pink going. Alright, so I have a spot here on my tentacle where I got some pink. Somewhere, where is that? Somewhere I got a spot on my tentacle with pink. So in order to fix that, I'm just going to grab some of this paint here and look for something a little darker up on the rim. I'm going to find that pink and I'm going to cover it up. Ta-da! 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 And since this is pretty light, I'm going to mix that in there. I'm just going to hit some of these high up areas. I don't figure a lot of light shining on these dudes down in the bowels of the earth. me get a small brush. I'm going to get rid of this cardboard here. Get rid of his pink. This is called Cardinal Red. This is folk art. This might be Michael's or Hobby Lobby or something's paint. I'm not sure. I'm just painting those 3 little gem painting things kind of red. I'm going to let those sit for a bit. Then I want to get some green. Oh, that's way too much damn green. I just want a little slap of it. And some water. Get that real watered down with that gray mixed in there a little bit. And then I just want to touch the edges of the fins and drag that along the edge of the fins, because I think that'd look nice. I think I'd like to do that around the tips of the tentacles as well. And this is very watered down, so I'm not sure what that's going to look like when it dries. It might look good, it might look stupid. We'll see. We'll see in a minute here. So that looked unnatural to me, now that I'm looking at it. So I'm going to get a really, really, really thin watered down, like super watered down. And I'm going to just kind of touch the whole fin. And let that dry. I'm not going to worry about the underside. Mrs. Doom's at some kind of craft show today. She is quite the crocheter. I don't really have a need for crochet stuff. Like, for example, a cape. If you could make a cape out of a piece of solid fabric and it weigh almost nothing, why would you think about making it out of crochet? That makes it heavy, and if it gets wet, you're going to choke a child to death. Kids want to wear capes. They can't. Why? Well, the dangers of crochet are real. I'm going to go really, 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 really water down here, and I'm just going to go around his mouth. There you go. All right. So because his fins are a little watered down, what I'm going to do is I have this arbor green. It's a darker, and that edge I was trying to capture around his fins. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do that with just this watered down. It's like a darker green. And I'm just going to kind of drag that along the edges and let that melt in with the existing light green. And just kind of do magic there. It'll just mix together and stretch out. See how it's like pulling into the other color and soaking in. And that's okay. We don't care. We just want it to look nice. That's what we're going for. This is really watered down, dudes. Something like that. All right. So that's our Aboleth. I think I'd like to do a little bit of that, actually. Just on the tips of his tentacles as well. Set the lightest bit. Just to give them a little more interest. All right. That's our $No Aboleth. I have a feeling that when that dries, I'm going to need to come back and hit a little bit of gray right there under that fin, because I got a little overzealous with my green. And that's okay. I won't make you stay and watch for that. Well, I haven't made you stay at all. You're here by choice. So, when that dries out, see where that green ran down off the fin right there? I'm going to touch that up, and if any other spots that happens to. And then I'm going to clear coat this guy. And you know what I'd like to do? Honestly, though, is let's get, before I let y'all escape, let's get this country gray. And let's hit some of these rocks with this down here. Let's get a little bit of cardboard. There's a little chunk of something I cut off of something else. Let's get a lot of that wiped off. And let's hit some of these bigger rocks down here to lighten those up so they look a little more noticeable. Okay, there we go. I'm happier. If you're happy, I'm happy. If you're not happy, I'm happy. So that's our Aboleth. He's got his 3 red eyes. Those are actually not very good eyes. Yeah, I know. Let's make those eyes look a little gross. Let's get some orange and a smaller brush. This is a tiny brush. This is a 0 brush. I don't know much about brushes, but I know this one's a 0. Let's just do a little dot in the middle of each one of those. Let's get some black and do a little pupil on them. So I think I want the pupil to be like, I don't know if I want it to just be a dot. Alright, hell with it. Let's get a fractional brush. So, fractional brushes are smaller than size 1. I just made a little thin black line over those. And no one's going to notice it but me. But I notice it. So he's not exactly what we set out to make. Or is he? We set out to make an Aboleth. We haven't made an Aboleth. Does it look like the book's Aboleth? I don't know. I'll go tell you when I get upstairs. But that was it. Hey, if you like what we're doing here, do me a favor. Like and subscribe. It's important because apparently people don't just like get these videos like I want them to. Like, people gotta hunt for them. And I'm only a small creator. I have, a very limited amount of people watching as it is. People aren't subscribing, which is a thing. Like, I get a lot of views and I get likes, but I don't get subscriptions. And I understand it's because you're competing against a bunch of people that are doing similar stuff probably. I don't know if they're doing exactly what I'm doing, but they're doing something similar. And so do me a favor and like and subscribe so we can know you want to see this stuff. Do me a favor also, if you make one of these, hop on our Discord and share me a picture of it. I'd love to see it. I absolutely love seeing other people do stuff. Every one of us has our different levels of creativeness and our different ideas. And some of us are just like, oh, I'm not artistic or whatever. But you try and you end up just surprising yourself and everyone. So give yourself a fair shot on this stuff, guys. This is the first one of our series. Mrs. Doom says she wants the whole book. I have nowhere to keep them. My D&D room is packed to the gills. I've been doing miniatures for so many years. And I don't do a lot of this stuff. I mean, I do it, but not a lot. And this guy looks a lot like our tinfoil Kraken, doesn't he? Maybe next time I'll do better. All right. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Check out the website. There's a link in the description for 25% off your first month of our loot crate. Dungeon Swag has a 6, 7, or 8 a month miniature loot crate we do. It's based off the weight of the resin and how much it costs us to produce it. So you get like a box of orcs, a box of hobgoblins, box of goblins, box of hyena men or gnolls, whatever. Cat people, whatever it is. Lion men, elephant men. There's a bunch of stuff on there. And then there's some one-off sales. Maybe stuff that's too big to send in the monthly box, but you might want it still, that we own the rights to print. And that stuff's on the website too. If you want to get a free mini completely on the house, you don't pay for shipping, you don't pay for the mini. There's a discount code on our Discord, and you can grab that and go on the website and click on free mini. It'll change the price to 0, and you'll get one shipped out to you as soon as possible. We do only give so many of those away a month because it costs us money. We got to pay for shipping and packaging and the resin and stuff. But we do give out so many of those a month too for people that want to try us out for the first time. We think that our product is good, and we want people to see that. So we're willing to give them every opportunity to do that for a good price. Otherwise, I'll see you next time, and we'll see what the next monster is. Hopefully it's not like an Astamir or something, because I'm not even sure how to tackle that. It probably is. But anyways, there's the Aboleth. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.